Oh, hi. I didn't see you there, statist. I'm just smoking a ton of pot, aligning my chakra with some crystals, and investing in some Bitcoin. Okay, seriously though. I know literally every single video you probably see talking about investing in cryptocurrencies is someone who seems completely crazy. For some reason, there is a strong correlation between Bitcoin investing and believing that the earth is flat. But what is the deal with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies anyways? You've seen things like President Vladimir Putin just endorsing a crazy thing called Ethereum. You see these weird internet coins making people millionaires. What is so great about this currency beyond lizard people hating it? Well, before I jump into that, let's quickly go over just what the heck a Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is an alternative currency on the internet. Each Bitcoin is its own unique code that can't be replicated. It's not like a code that you can just copy and paste. All people who use Bitcoin have a ledger on their computer of every single transaction that has ever happened, so no two people can have the same Bitcoin. Bitcoin is given value, like anything, by people who want to buy it. It started out as only being worth a few cents, but as more and more people started to realize how valuable a separate online currency could be, demand for Bitcoin went up, and therefore the price went up. Bitcoin is now worth over $2,000 for a single Bitcoin. In fact, close to $3,000. Yeah, there are people who bought Bitcoin when it was only worth like a few cents and are now millionaires. It's absolutely insane. There are even stories about guys who bought tons of Bitcoin ages ago, lost their codes, and are just left with nothing. One man spent years searching through landfills for a hard drive that he had millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on. Luckily, storing Bitcoin has become a lot easier and safer as options for storing your online currencies have widened. Now, why did it get to the point where Bitcoin is so freaking valuable? Why do so many people want this thing? Well, there are about a million reasons why. Most importantly, though, Bitcoin is not controlled by the Federal Reserve or BIS. There is no central control of Bitcoin. You, the people, are in control of it. You are the greedy-ass bankers that everyone protests on Wall Street. You are the ones that benefit from this currency, and there is an unchangeable limit to Bitcoin. No more than 21 million can be printed. Basically, it can't be messed with by anyone but the people. This is why it's called a cryptocurrency. It's secured using some kind of mathematical crypto magic instead of dubious trust-based systems like government, banks, or paper money. That does not mean it is not volatile like normal currencies. It definitely is. Bitcoin could go up to $1 million a Bitcoin, or it could go to zero at any point. It's even susceptible to a 51% attack. In fact, I've heard people predicting that it may crash soon. But the idea is that the people give this thing value, not the government. Another big reason people like it is because you can avoid taxes and capital controls with it. Now, I'm not about to go all taxation is theft on you guys. Unlike most people who are into Bitcoin, I'm not a full-out anarchist, although I like a lot of them. I just don't think it's pragmatic at the moment. I believe some minimal level of government is needed to preserve freedom and maintain borders, especially when competing against separate nation-states. However, I completely understand people who want to avoid taxes. We get taxed on literally everything. When people buy something, they're taxed. When people get paid, they're taxed. When I'm supposedly getting free healthcare, I'm really just being taxed. Hell, you can't accept 10 cents on PayPal without being taxed. And a large chunk of that money is not going to particularly useful things. It's going to importing migrants and people being forced to pay for their stay. It's going to government-funded pride parades. It's going to Snapchat filters. It's going to research studies on why lesbians are fat. So with governments being so incapable of spending money responsibly, I can understand why people try to preserve their hard-earned wealth and achieve economic security. So one of the huge advantages to Bitcoin is the government can't control it. They really do try, but you can literally walk across any international border with millions and millions of dollars just in your head from memorizing a Bitcoin code. It is insane. If the economy crashes or is messed up by central banking like in 2008, cryptocurrencies are a great thing to have on hand. And I say currencies, which probably leaves you wondering, okay, we've covered Bitcoin, but what are these other cryptocurrency things? There's more than just one. What is Ethereum that Putin has just endorsed? Well, since the rise of Bitcoin to its current extremely high price, more people started designing online currencies that once again derive value from the people wanting them. So you've probably seen ridiculous things like Dogecoin, which I actually own some of. And yes, you can buy things with it, and yes, it is a real currency. But more serious ones like Monero and Ethereum have come about with different traits than Bitcoin. They're worth less right now, but are slowly going up as cryptocurrency trades go up. I didn't really know much about Ethereum about half a year ago, but I threw $80 in it just because why not? And now I'm really kicking myself because that number has tripled. It's a bit like a casino, which is why some people are probably turned off by the idea of it. Also, just the very fact that the creator of Bitcoin is totally anonymous, we have no idea who created it, leaves a lot of question marks. And I get it. I totally understand the skepticism. I'm not interested in Bitcoin to gamble and make money off it myself. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I think that the concept is an important thing for everyone to kind of understand, because the idea of having a currency controlled by the people and not the government is a fascinating experiment, whether you're a revolutionary, a computer scientist, or a math wizard. Especially in a world with so much debt and irresponsible governments. I mean, we have more student debt in North America than credit card debt right now. Who knows what black swan is going to happen to the economy when this stuff catches up to us? Probably another Lehman Brothers times a million. I also truly believe that the more corrupt our governments get and the less they represent the people, the more we have to represent ourselves and try to empower ourselves. In the UK, the people desperately tried to vote their way out of the EU and out of crazy liberal governments, but instead what they're getting is, well, Theresa May, who is cracking down on internet free speech and is simply going to give them a watered down, pro-cultural genocide version of what they asked for. If we can't vote our way out of chaos, what we can do is take control of our own lives by being our own bankers. And I'm not saying I'm sure that Bitcoin is the way to do that. It's spectacularly volatile. But simply the idea that we can control our own monetary system, totally outside of the state controls, is something that I think any political junkie should be fascinated by. This is part of a bigger picture of ensuring our sovereignty, whether it's going to succeed or not. It's a reaction to the banksters destroying our savings by confiscating, redistributing, and printing money. People wanted to make sure they could save money for their future without it getting destroyed, like what's happening in Japan, Venezuela, or what happened in Weimar Germany. In Weimar Germany, mothers and fathers who did not own gold or silver could not adequately provide for their children or escape to the West. In a potential Weimerica, I expect the same thing to happen, except with Bitcoin potentially assisting precious metals in the roles of economic insurance and life preservation. I'm compelled because Bitcoin might provide a nest egg which could assist my future family if all other assets become worthless. Being your own bank is the best protection against the banks screwing you. It's how we ensure our security instead of relying on others to do it for us. People are doing this with their privacy too. If you don't trust the governments to not surveil you, then there are secondary layers of security you can put up, like encrypted texting and phone calls, Proton Mail for email, and Keybase.io for chat and file sharing. These all use some form of the same moon math that makes Bitcoin possible. I think it's worth looking into and learning more about cryptocurrencies and how they work just to understand the possibilities out there. I still barely understand it myself, yet I'm enjoying the roller coaster of learning tremendously. So seriously guys, I am not telling you to go gamble all your life savings on internet nerd money, but definitely check it out and read into this stuff yourself, because these are fascinating concepts that may shape our futures by providing a new design for the machinery of freedom. Thanks so much for watching, and if you guys enjoyed that video, then be sure to share it and hit like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.